Hey y'all, welcome to Peyton Energetics. I'm Peyton, and today we are talking about starseeds. So if you have ever wondered what a starseed is and how to tell if you are one, that is what we're chatting about in today's video. But before we jump in, if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss weekly videos to help make your spiritual journey easier. So today we are taking a look at starseeds. What is a starseed? Why are they here on Earth? And how do you tell if you are one? Well, as the guides tell us, a starseed is someone who has incarnated on Earth right now, whose soul originates from another star system. So what that means is a starseed is different from your average human in that their soul doesn't originate from the Earth construct. So starseeds are often from one of the 7 star systems that is most closely aligned with Earth right now. So when we talk about star systems, we often see star seeds coming from one of these 7 systems. So probably some of the most common star races to see as starseed lineages right now are, of course, the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians are the star race that is working most closely with humanity right now to support us through the ascension process. They are the guardians of the 5th dimension, and so there are many Pleiadian starseeds on the planet right now. Another very common star race to see as a starseed lineage is, of course, the Sirians. And the Sirians, again, have been very loyal supporters and guardians and protectors of Earth since the earliest days of the planet, supporting humanity throughout its evolution. So the Sirius system is sending many starseeds to planet Earth right now. And so that, too, is one of your more common star races. And probably the 3rd most common star race that you'll encounter is the Arcturians. The Arcturians, of course, are known for being just tremendous healers, just some of the most highly evolved healers in the galaxy. And actually, the Arcturians are considered to be one of the most advanced galactic civilizations. And the Arcturians are working very closely with Earth right now to protect us and to help us move through our ascension process. So the Arcturians, again, very common starseed lineage, especially for people who are drawn to be healers. So if you are drawn to healing modalities, if you know you're here to be a healer, you may very well have Arcturian lineage. So why are starseeds here? What is the whole point of there being starseeds on Earth? Well, the guides tell us that the reason that starseeds are coming to Earth and have been over the past 40 or 50 years is to support Earth during the ascension process. So what starseeds do is they bring higher dimensional knowledge, information, and frequency from their home star systems and anchor that in the Earth grid. Again, to help raise the vibration of the Earth plane and humanity to support us through the ascension process. So one of the most common things you will see from starseeds is that they are here on a mission. And generally they are here to hold a high frequency, to bring higher dimensional knowledge and information to the human collective, and to even help work on anchoring and stabilizing the 5D grid system. So those are some of the things that you will notice as soul missions and soul blueprints of the starseed. So the guides tell us that starseeds first started to come to planet Earth in the late 1940s. And what kicked off the phenomena of starseeds coming to Earth, the guides tell us it was when the World War II detonation of the atomic bombs occurred. That got the attention of our galactic family that the humans were playing with very dangerous toys. And so the entire galactic community woke up and started paying a lot more attention to us after those detonations happened. So what happened is, the guides tell us, a call went out throughout the galaxy asking different highly evolved civilizations to send volunteers in the form of starseeds to be incarnated on Earth, to start bringing in higher vibrational energies, higher frequencies, and higher dimensional information and knowledge. And so that kicked off the waves of starseeds that have been coming to Earth starting in the late 1940s. The guides say that very few starseeds were really coming to Earth in the late 40s. It was just a trickle at that time. But over the next couple decades, especially, it started to kick up in the late 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. That's when we really started seeing an influx of starseeds coming to Earth. And the purpose of that was to be here and be present and be awake at this point that we're in right now in our ascension process. So you can think of starseeds as galactic volunteers. They're kind of like the galactic Red Cross. So one of the things that everyone wants to know is, first of all, are you a starseed? But then second of all, where are you from? So knowing your starseed origin has almost become the new knowing your zodiac sign. So if you are trying to figure out your starseed origin, one of the best ways to do that, of course, is just to see what you resonate with. So sitting and asking in meditation, connecting with your higher self and your guides, and asking them to show you your starseed origin. Your guides and your higher self can't wait to tell you where you are from, what your soul is here to do, and what your mission is. Because if you're a starseed, you have a mission, and it is an important one. So if you feel that deep in your bones, that is a great sign that you are probably a starseed. So as you start to dig in and look into your starseed origin, one thing that the guides note that's really kind of interesting is that you may be drawn to more than one galactic race. And the race that you resonate with may change over the course of your spiritual development. So, for example, if you are drawn particularly to one star system right now, feeling that you are resonating with it, you're resonating with the messages that come through channels that channel that race, that could be a sign that you're honing in on one of your dominant genetic or galactic ancestors. But that can actually change over time. You may find that in a couple years, as your spiritual development evolves, that you start to resonate with a different star system. So what the guides tell us about that is that our starseed race is a little more flexible than just thinking, oh, I am Pleiadian. So what can happen is you can be drawn to or feel like your origin is not just where your soul first incarnated, which is what we generally think of as our starseed origin, is the system that we first were birthed into human form in. But it can also be just the star system that you had the best lives. Your favorite lives were from Sirius or from the Pleiades or from Lyra. So it can also be a resonance with the favorite lifetimes or incarnations that you've had. It can also be the place that you were right before this incarnation. So if you had incarnated in the Arcturian system right before this Earth incarnation, that may resonate with you as being your star origin. So the guides just tell us, be flexible. If it seems to shift or change on you, that doesn't mean that you got it wrong. It just means that you may be triggering different parts of your galactic ancestry at different points of your spiritual evolution. Because I noticed when I first woke up, the star race that first jumped out at me and the guides that first connected with me were Syrian beings, because that was a big part of my lineage. My galactic ancestry was based in the Syrian star system. But several years later, I am now much more resonating with the Pleiadian part of my ancestry, where I'm working with mostly Pleiadian guides, channeling Pleiadian beings. So it's kind of shifted over the years. And so it turns out the bulk of my ancestry is Pleiadian, but I do have, a significant chunk of time that was in the Syrian system. So be flexible in terms of how you define it. Your starseed lineage is not as rigid as you might think of your human lineage being. And so you may be drawing on different galactic experiences that were meaningful to your soul at different points in your soul's evolution. So be a little flexible. If it starts to shift or you start to resonate with different beings, it doesn't mean you got your lineage wrong. It just means you are being fluid and tapping into different parts of your development at the relevant time in your spiritual growth. So be a little flexible with it. It's not a hard and fast rule, but it just gives you a framework to draw on. So how do you tell if you are a starseed? Well, we're going to dive into this a lot more detail in my next couple videos, where we look at in detail these traits of starseeds and break it down by starseed race. So today, just to give you a sense of whether the whole concept of a starseed resonates with you, some of the things you can look to that tend to stand out in most starseeds are, first off, what I notice in almost all starseeds is they tend to be highly sensitive, highly intuitive, and highly empathic. So if that resonates with you, it may be a great sign that you're a starseed, or it could just mean that you are a light worker. Both light workers and starseeds tend to be highly sensitive and intuitive because they're holding a higher vibration, which makes them more sensitive to energy and more able to easily tune into their galactic history, their guides, and multidimensional information. Another great sign that you may be a starseed is that starseeds often feel like they don't fit in to their families, to their friend groups, to their communities. So a sense of not fitting in is one of the hallmarks of a starseed. So starseeds may feel like they don't fit in because, again, they hold a higher vibration than the average human, which can cause feelings of separation. So that's very common. If you experience that, it could be a great indicator that you are a starseed. And another thing that stands out with so many of my starseed clients is even a feeling of not being at home, either on Earth or in their physical bodies. So starseeds, especially depending on their particular origin, may have trouble fitting into their physical bodies. They may not like being in bodies. They may have health issues. They may just struggle with feeling like their body is a stranger. So if that resonates with you, that is one of the hallmarks of a starseed. And in particular, certain star races have particular difficulties with being in physical bodies. Particularly our starseed friends with Arcturian and Andromedan energies may find it particularly difficult to be in a physical body, because the genetics, the guides tell us, are just not as compatible with human genetics as some of the other star races like the Pleiadians and the Sirians. So again, if you resonate with this difficulty being in the physical body, a great indicator that you may be a starseed. And finally, the hallmark of a starseed, as I mentioned earlier, is that starseeds, after they awaken, know they are here on a mission. So if you start to feel after you have your spiritual awakening that you are here to do something big, you are here to do something important, and you need to get on with it, that is one of the hallmarks of a starseed. And so starseeds very often feel an urgency to get on with their soul's mission. The only thing is, they generally don't remember what it is. Because of course, as we incarnate here, we pass through the veil of forgetfulness, and a lot of us forget our starseed missions. So one of the main things that I work with my starseed clients on is reconnecting them with their soul's purpose, their mission, and what they are here on Earth to do. Because it can absolutely drive a starseed crazy to not know what they are supposed to be doing. So if you feel like there is something important that you should be doing, that you have a purpose and a mission, that is one of the hallmarks of the starseed. So how do you know for sure if you are a starseed, and if you are, where you're from? Well, if you are still watching this video, chances are pretty excellent that you are a starseed. But if you want to know for sure, the best way to get the answer to that is to sit in meditation and ask your higher self and your guides, because your higher self and your guides can't wait to tell you all about your star origin, your star family, and what you are here to do. They have been waiting for you to ask these questions. So if you start to sit in meditation and ask these questions, you'll start to see signs from your intuition, from your guides, that show you who your star ancestors are. You might find that you start to see on social media people channeling a particular star race or messages from particular galactic races, and you start to resonate with the messages. And that is one of the common ways that your guides and your higher self will start to lead you to your galactic family. So as the guides always say, the answer is within you. So I hope that helps you tell if you are a starseed, and if so, where you are from. We'll be diving into all the details in my future videos of all the different star races and what the personality traits are of each different starseed. So make sure you stick around for those. Hope this helps you. I'll see you soon. Bye.